Well, you always say next man up. So with Costa on vacation, you got next man back. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good. It's got you back here, Stoney. Is anybody even listening right now? Isn't everybody gone on vacation?
Oh no, your appointment listening.
Yes, even people that are on vacation, they have it on the app. They want to hear you and see what you're going to say to go viral, like last week. What kind
of? We may be the only two working right now, or the only three.
That's probable. All right, with the holiday spirit, we were talking about this earlier. Do you remember what was the best sports Christmas gift you ever got as a kid?
Oh God, sports Christmas gift. I don't even know. Nothing is even entering my brain.
All right.
I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Let's. I'll make this one. So we'll just keep the holiday tradition going here. What I just made, I let Stoney know that at the Jansen house, because Santa gets a lot of cookies and milk before he heads back to the North Pole. When he stops at the Jansen house, he gets chicken wings and a beer. What does the Campbell house leave for Santa Claus?
Yeah, it's pretty traditional. It's the chocolate chip cookies and it's the milk. So there's nothing. I love that one. That's pretty rare. It's pretty unique. And you know what? Santa would absolutely love that because there's enough sweets to go around that night. Why not give a little grease?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. I figured you'd leave Santa some coffee because he got a lot of work to do. He's got to stay up all night.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what happened on Sunday. Definitely a fun game to watch. You had to be happy with some of the guys who play, Iffy coming back and Mahogany. Could you talk about those two guys and what they showed you?
Yeah, so good to get Iffy back. Like I say, we had tried to get him up before and then had another injury there, another setback. But he's been training, he's been running, just hadn't had a lot of really football since, early training camp. And so, we did feel good about his conditioning. He's been in the meetings. He's had the right mindset. And so we just felt like, man, let's give him a go. As long as practice looks pretty good, his feet are under him, he's confident about going and playing. And he went in, and I thought it was steady. It was a solid performance. It's like I said, he's a little rusty, and he should be rusty. But there's things in there that are very promising, and he's only going to get better, getting his legs back under him. He'll be better this week. He'll be better the week after that. So that was good, man. And then Mahogany, to be able to step in first time, play a real NFL game, didn't get anything in the preseason, but has really shown us a lot in practice since he's come back. I mean, he's just steadily gotten better and better every week, and he's really, everybody in the organization has been he's caught our eye. And it was pretty unanimous to give this guy, give him a go, give him a chance, let Graham heal up here a little bit. And so he went in and did a nice job. That was a good first step. Was it perfect? No, but it's something to build off of, and it's not too big for him. So that's encouraging.
You mentioned that there are some things that you still got to clean up. It was a fun game. It was a great game. It was a win. But what are some of the things, and let's just start offensively, that you need to keep cleaning up as you prepare for San Francisco and ultimately Minnesota to end the season?
Yeah, there's these things that, we got to finish a little bit in the pass game. Look, we're handling the run game well, and we really, for the most part, made them one-dimensional. Man, the effort's outstanding, our physical nature. But then there's some things in the pass game. We get these guys in first, second, and long. We got to be able to get off the field, or if it's second down, keep them in third and long. And so some of that is, just up front, man. When we run our games, we run our stunts. Like, we have to be pinpoint on how we run those things. Like, the detail at which we run them and how we run them has got to be dead on to create disruption up front. And those are the little things that we can get better at just as a starting point. And then there's some things leverage-wise on the back end that we know better than, We know better that we need to clean up. But all in all, the coverage is pretty damn good. We're sticky. Moving a Meek outside was awesome, and Branch at nickel, we're playing pretty good there in the back end right now. And so just the little things, that's all. Things that don't require talent is what we got to get better at.
I know you always had belief in him, but a lot of people were concerned that Gibbs wouldn't be able to handle the wear and the tear and, the stuff up the middle. But, man, he came through in shining colors. No surprise to you, I imagine.
No, and, we've said this for a while. He's not what I think people think he is, and it falls into the, I think, you put people in boxes just because of their skill level, and it's like, well, because Gibbs is so dang fast and explosive, well, he's probably not an inside runner. But that's not the truth, and it's like, well, because he is that, he can't handle a load. And so, no, he's quite the opposite of that. Now, does that mean we want to, give him 30 carries a game and they're all downhill? No, we don't want to do that. But, man, he can run any type of scheme. He's an effective runner. He's got vision, explosiveness. Hell, we're out there on the grass, and it really didn't affect him. And so that was good to see. There's a couple of things down in the goal line area that he can be better at. And he will be, but man, that was good to see out of him.
Seasons are different, teams are different. There's a lot of context. But how much does the loss last year in the NFC Championship game play into the mindset that your players may have or you may have going out to San Francisco on Monday night?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much it'll play into it. Now I'll say this: the thought of going back out there, their stadium, their grass, it's you remember what that was like. I know that. I won't forget what that was like. So, but it really is more about this is where we're at in this season. We know we need to go out and win this game. We have to, and it's the next game in front of us, And there's the things that we talked about. We need to clean up from last week's game. We got to do that this week. So that's really our focal point.
And obviously, the discussion about resting guys for that game, it becomes moot because there's a scenario that if the Vikings win and the Lions lose, the Vikings can come in here and win the division by tying you guys, right? So you have to play everybody.
Absolutely. You got to play everybody. And I don't even want any type of mindset creeping in as to who we're playing, who we're not playing. We're not doing that, man. We're going to put our best foot forward. We're going to put our best game plan together. We're going to play our best players, and we're going to go out and do everything we can to win this game. That's the mindset.
The focus is obviously on San Francisco. We know how good they can be, but with 2 games left, you start the season and it feels like it's long. Now there's light at the end of the tunnel. The postseason, you've already guaranteed that spot. The number 1 seed's on the line. How do you maintain focus, not get too high, not get too excited about what is to come, but focus on this one single game?
Yeah, I think that's a valid question because it is. We really are now getting towards the end, and it's more critical than ever that we stay focused on what's in front of us. And it really, man, stay out of all the, what happens if this goes down? What happens here? Man, just worry about winning the game. We got to win the game in front of us. We got to go out there, and that's job number 1. That's where all our focus has to be. And then after that, we'll figure out the rest. We'll figure out what that means for the next week. But it really is that simple, and just continuing to hammer that message, make sure they see that, keep your focus there, and then everything else that happens around you, it doesn't matter. You'll know what you got to do the next week.
On the touchdown to Laporta, the Stumblebum play, I'm curious, who came up with the name Stumblebum? And also, when the play was called, when it goes through your headsets, are you, like, smiling inside?
Yeah, well, so Ben, Yeah, that was Ben's baby that he, thought up and really off the play that he had seen
last year.
Last year, we're getting ready for him. And so really once it got cooked and, hey, yeah, let's do this, then it was, I think he typed it in as that. So I think it's his and he named it. So he gets full credit for that. And so, yeah, I was excited because I think we all felt like it was going to work. I felt like it was going to work. My only holdoff was, man, I felt like we may have been a little tight. But yet, I didn't say anything. So I obviously agreed that it was not going to be so tight we couldn't get it done. But we had worked it a little bit farther back than where we called it. So, but the action of it worked. And Goff made a heck of a throw. Laporta makes a heck of a catch. And it was well executed. Those guys did it perfect. And it doesn't seem like much, but it's a small thing that they turned into 7.
I was watching a lot of the national shows yesterday, and everybody was all excited about it, breaking it down. But I don't know, it was Damian Woody or Marcus Spears. One of those guys said the only thing I didn't like about it is they used it in a game where they were comfortably ahead. Why not save it for a playoff game or something like that? Can you answer that criticism? Because to me, you just use a play when it's there, right?
Yeah, man, you prep these plays. Now, look, you cook these things. They've been cooking for a long time, most of these, since training camp. But there's these things you come up with because you see something you like versus that opponent, on that opponent, that this week it's absolutely the conditions are right. They're perfect. And so when you have those up, and that's why you put them in the game plan, if you have the opportunity to call them, you got to call them because there is no guarantee it's going to work next week. There's not. And so you don't hold anything back. If it's meant for that opponent, you got to find a way to use it. Look, inevitably we come out of games and there's things we don't get to. And you hold them and you see, is there a place for it here? And a lot of times there is, but then there's a lot of times it's not. It's like, well, we can't use that anymore, maybe next year, So, yeah, you got to use them.
One last question for you. You and I as players, I'm sure there were times where I had to practice on Christmas or we had to work. It's what we do, especially at this time of the year. With the Monday night game, with Christmas being on Wednesday, how are you guys handling the schedule for the players and their families?
Yeah, it actually worked out really, really good this year because of the Monday night. That's one of the rare benefits of what's going to happen this week. And so, the players will come in today and we'll get everything cleaned up. And then they're off tomorrow. And I'm giving the coaches off tomorrow, too, for Christmas. So really, and then we'll be in Thursday, and that's our base day. That's first, second down work. And we go right through. So it actually worked out perfect. Coaches have been here since yesterday, so we're grinding these 2 days, make sure we get everything ready, get the game plan ready, and when they walk in Thursday, we'll have it ready to go versus San Fran. So it worked out great. Everybody's going to get to be with their families for a day and enjoy that. Finally,
any shot of Anzalone or Reeves Maben or any of those guys coming back this week?
Well, we're hopeful for Reeves Maben this week. Mm-hmm. We'll see where he's at. He got to start practicing last week, and we'll see what he looks like in practice this week, how comfortable he is, and there is a chance there.
All right. Dan, thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you next week.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you later.
Dan Campbell, head coach of your Detroit Lions on 97.1 The Ticket.